Hello, y'all. Good morning. Ooh, I've already got one person watching. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Hey, no, it's Leonardo. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to all. I just felt like doing a live feed. So I don't know when the best time to do these things is because I don't want to jump in on somebody else's already set time, like Saturday Live and Friday Night Live and all these different times that other people have. One time I jumped in accidentally on JK's. I didn't jump. I mean, I was watching his, but right in the moment as I was setting up mine, I had already scheduled it. So I don't want to do that. So if you guys have suggestions on when I could do live feeds, I'm all ears. So let me know when you think would be a good time. But the other day I did the video. I did 4 videos yesterday, and whenever I do that, it's difficult to hold back on dumping them. One day, then the next day, then the next day. That's the goal, but it doesn't always work that way. So yeah. Anyways, I whenever I was doing the video on the Oiler for the 281 XP, which by the way seems to be fixed because it is currently dry as a bone right there in that channel. Nothing is leaking out. So it seems like I may have fixed it. So I got to clean that up a little bit more, send it out to Pat, which is Cajun, if you didn't know. Send it out to Cajun and let him port that. And it's all him, man. Whatever he wants to do, I'm going to be down for it. If you screw up that cylinder, Pat, that's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll go some other route, and it's all right. So yeah, I want this thing to be as fast as it can be, as fast as you can make it. Let's see, which I am actually getting a 372 XP clone from Eric Salyer that I am actually looking forward to get because it's the same thing. Now, I have done one other saw with no limitations, but it was it's Randy's Dolmar 7910, or it's a Makita 7910, I think is what it is, or 7900, whatever. For one, the porting was nearly perfect on it. So I was like, well, what else can I do? I don't, I mean, it was spot on. Besides removing the base gasket, I was just like, uh, and I did some port work to it. Of course, I cleaned it up and everything, but it was minuscule what I could even do to that saw. So, but there will be more on that saw because I know he wants a timing advance and to build one of my hammerhead exhaust for it. So we will have more to say about that. But that'll be in the future. Anyways, my point is Eric Salyer is sending me a 372 XP clone in which he wants me to just be as wild as possible. Who cares if it's hard to start? I mean, he just wants it to be zing, 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 and put a pipe on it. I've got the pipe right here. Whoa. Whoa. So this is it, Eric. It's got a crack in it. I have to weld that up. I may have a couple cracks in it. And this was just a factory exhaust for I believe it was a Honda CR80. So we will definitely be highly modifying that to work on your setup. I'm on the fence about whether or not it's worth it to do anything with those dirt bike exhausts because they are not made in any way, shape, or form for a chainsaw. And this one right here, being that it's a factory Honda pipe, well, it's going to concentrate more on a very broad power band all across the RPM range. And they're only set up, I believe, to peak at like 8,500 RPMs. Well, that's slow as shit for a chainsaw. 8,500 RPMs where you're getting your peak power. No, that ain't no good. That's stock numbers of saws that were made in the 80s, maybe even 70s, some of them. So anyways, definitely got to shorten it up. Got to decrease the diameter in places, and we'll see what we get out of it. But I'm going to go all out on his and see what we can do there. And Pat, you go all out on mine, see what you can do with it. And yeah. So the reason I wanted to do this video is very specific. It's because of the video that I just released. And that is with the Jonsered. See how it says 670? All right. It's actually a 630. Or at least the cylinder is. So this is going to go to Aaron Lynch. Well, I think it's going to go to Aaron Lynch. We'll see what Aaron chimes in. Hey, Cajun. We'll see what Aaron chimes in with, because I'm going to give him the option. The way I want to go with this saw is I want to make it a reed saw. So what we're going to do, and Aaron may be like, I don't want to build no reed saw. That's Charlie Briscoe's thing. And I'll definitely be asking Charlie for pointers. You know what I mean? Charlie's done this before. But I want to get a saw. This is not about excluding anyone. If anybody's out there and they think that, like especially you, Charlie, if you're sitting there and going, well, man, reed saw is kind of my thing. Why aren't you asking me to port it? Well, I have a Thunder Kitten ported by you, buddy. And I love it. I want to share it. That's it. This isn't about me excluding anyone. It's more about me including everyone. It's the way I like to roll. So what we're doing here, see, the glorious thing about this old Jonsered, if you follow the channel, you know that I've been wanting to use that reed block on a number of different projects. Well, with Charlie, what he does is he welds them on. Now, I don't have a TIG set up, and even if I did, I'm a terrible TIG welder. I would need to practice a lot before I tried to tackle something like this. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I was really hoping for my first reed saw for the possibility of just bolting the reed cage on. Well, this old Jonsered 630, you can do that. The intake, there it is very much bolted on in place. So now, I came into this little hobby knowing a good bit for sure, but small engines are definitely a different world than motorcycles. No doubt about it. No doubt. But some knowledge still carries through. Like, I didn't even know it was a big deal whenever I ported the 60cc Poland that had the impulse going into the cylinder was supposed to have the impulse line. It wasn't even there. And so I drilled a new impulse line. I didn't think much of it. I just did it. But I guess it turns out I was the first one to ever do that, or at least to that cylinder setup or whatever. And so, like, I was even watching Walt and Bob on their Jonsered 625, 630, 670 survival guide, right? And what they're talking about is like if you got a cylinder where the impulse line you're supposed to be feeding directly into the carburetor from the cylinder, you can drill out your carburetor and stuff. And well, I was surprised that they didn't even think to mention that, it's just an impulse line. If you have two, plug one of them. If you have it in the wrong place, just drill. So as long as you keep in mind what's going on, you can just drill an impulse line wherever, as long as it's not getting into your transfer ports, as long as your piston ring gap isn't touching it, and little things like that, obvious things. You want to have the correct placement, but it's not a big deal. If you don't have an impulse line in your crankcase and you're supposed to have an impulse line in your crankcase for your setup, just drill it and put an impulse line there. It's simple. So anyways, I guess my point in bringing that up is right here, this one has an impulse line right there. And the block, the reed block, it feeds right there in that little hole, and that comes up right here, and that's where it feeds into the carburetor right there at that top. Well, if we have an impulse line in the case of the chainsaw instead of right there, and that does two things with us. Number one is we don't have to worry about any kind of special intake block. We can just make any kind of intake block that we want out of, say, aluminum, and that block itself gets welded to this. Boy, those almost line up. So that's number one thing is it frees up any restrictions that we have here that might make it more difficult to mount the reed block. The other thing that it does for us is it allows us to run a wider range of carburetors. A lot of carburetors feed. Let's see if I have one right here. Yeah. Yeah. I think this will work. So this is will it? I don't know. I don't care. But a lot of carburetors will have your impulse line like this, and you can just run it with a hose however you want to, right down into the crankcase. I know. Oh, yeah. Kind of what I'm thinking in my head. This is the carburetor. Well, no, that's not it. This is it. That's the big boy. Oh, this is a big mother. All right. So this is the carburetor for a 372 XP X-Torque, right? It's big, it's fat. We all know what that's about. Yeah. Big, fat X-Torque carburetor. Now, this would offer far too much flow for a standard Jonsered 630, right? Somebody needs to tell, hey, let me read the comments here. Eric, hey, buddy, I'm about to go out and finish my Go 400 expansion taper. Ooh, aren't you just cool, Eric Salyer? I've seen the pictures. It looks sweet as could be. Those pipes that you're working with are cool. And I saw that you got two of them. I'm hoping one of them is going to come my way, and I'll use that instead of that CR80. But anyways, Pat, you're saying the 630 already has the advantage carb-wise over any 60cc with the stock intake boot. Okay. All right. John, hot box, man. I want a pizza by you at some point, dude. I want a hot box pizza. Um, anyways, John, how you doing, buddy? New subscriber. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of new subscribers. Sometimes it depends on what video drops. Sometimes it's over 50 a day. A lot of times it's over 50 a day. Sometimes it's as much as 100. You know, it's a lot. It This month alone, I've picked up like close to 800 subscribers, and it all started basically whenever the Wild Thing video hit, which wasn't even I don't think it was 3 weeks ago. So, anyways, it's potential of getting to 1,000 subscribers in 1 month's time pretty quickly. So I'm very happy. Crazy fella. I met Crazy Feller at Sawfest. I met a lot of people at Sawfest. And that was pretty awesome. Really enjoyed that. God, it was so much fun. And I guess I should announce this right now. I announce this, yes. So I am going to try and make it to Tazapalooza. Yes, I am going to drive my new truck. It is a Nissan, by the way, Nissan Frontier. I've yet to make the video explaining why, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I didn't want the Ford and I didn't want the Chevy, and Dodge doesn't make a small truck anymore. I wanted a small truck. I wanted a smaller footprint, meaning it just gets tiresome driving such a big truck whenever you live in the city. There ain't no place to park it. You know, it's like pain in the butt. And so, anyways, I wanted the small truck and I wanted better gas mileage. As it is, I'm having fun zipping around in my little extended cab Nissan and getting twice the gas mileage that I was getting. So I'm very happy with it. So, anyways, I see you there, Hotbox. You gonna make me the pizza, buddy? You're in Florida, though, I believe, right? Aren't you in Florida? Am I crazy? Are you up in Seattle somewhere? Am I completely across in the wrong direction? Um. So, anyways, what was I saying about this? So, I believe that this right here, it is a 372 X torque carburetor, and it is fed by an impulse, an external impulse right here. Well, if I drill out the crankcase for an impulse line, then I can feed this carburetor. And this right here would be far too much carburetor for a 630 unless you had a reed setup. That's what I'm thinking of doing. And now I'm just making this video because I had the thought in my head and I was going to just run out here and do this and all that jazz. But honestly, I need to talk with Aaron about it. Aaron may not want to do that. In which case, then we've got different ways we can go. We can say, well, that's okay. You do it your way, and that's perfectly fine with me. Or the possibility that I say, well, maybe you do a different saw, Aaron, because I really want this one for the 64cc class. Yeah, I want to run this read on it, but I'm not committed to it. I'm not. So what I want to do is I want to literally make a mount for this so that I can bolt this in place here. That way I don't have to worry about possibly warping this at all. But once you get it on there and it's running and it's good, then your intake timing is out of the question. You just simply hog it out as much as you possibly can to get as much flow in there. You want as much time, but then you go, oh, well, I'm destroying my velocity. Well, does it matter because you're able to pack so much more fuel in there? I don't know. These are all questions that I need to talk specifically with Aaron about, and Charlie Briscoe. Charlie's been doing this with great success. I do not want to pretend that this idea is straight from my head. No, 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 no. This is taking the stuff that Charlie has already been doing and killing it at, and trying to do it better than he's doing it. You know, I mean, of course, I mean, we're always going to try and do it better. And hopefully we succeed on this. But yeah, I want Aaron on board with this, but I'll have to ask him personally. And maybe he doesn't want to do it. Maybe he's like, no, I've already got a great recipe for the 630, and I'll just want to stick with that. In which case, then I'll do something else with this. But Aaron, don't be a little bitch. we should put it on this, because I really want this to just really be a ring zinger, because it's ugly as fuck, right? It is an ugly ass saw, and I want to keep it ugly. I'm just going to take it and clear coat right over all of it, and maybe we'll call it the oomph. Maybe we'll call it the oomph for ugly motherfucker. Oh man, Eric, hey, there you are, buddy. Different Eric Diamond. He's the guy that sent me this, buddy. Yeah. So totally got lucky. If you didn't see the other video this morning, guy, I thought that it was a 670. You thought it was a 670. I've been wanting a 630 ever since Sawfest, and it dawned on me. I'm like, man, I should build a Jonsered for the 64cc class. And the 625 is an open port setup. The 630 is closed port. Well, that saw that you gave me, Eric, is a 630 closed port setup. See? And it is totally usable. It really is. That is a perfectly fine cylinder. I've not cleaned it up at all yet. It will clean up very nice. So, very good deal. All right, let's try and read some comments. Got a little bit more people on here than I thought I would, doing it this early in the morning. What is a boudin pizza? Boudin? I can't say it. Yes, you are in Florida, see? So next time I'm in Florida, I'm going to come down there and get a pizza from you, buddy. Hey, what's up, Mustang? Jethro. What's a 22 crew cab? 22 foot? Damn, it's a big truck. See, my other truck was big. And just driving that thing around in the city, it's a pain in the ass, straight up. You're right, Cajun. I just read that. This is a Zama carb. I know for a fact that I have an X-Torque carb around here somewhere. But you're right, Cajun. This, after second look, yeah, that's a Zama. And Zama didn't make them at all for the for the X-Torques. So I do have an X-Torque carb here somewhere. I just got to figure out where the hell the thing is. Driving me nuts. But I know you guys don't want to see me digging it. Oh, that's it. I think. Gotta be. Is that it, guys? Is that the X-Torque carburetor? Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know what else it would be off of. Oh, John Bob, are you there? John Bob, listen, this is for you, buddy. Are you listening? All right. Cajun mentioned something to me, and I haven't been able to let it go. Would you be interested in making a full tilt race saw from my 3120? I'm waiting for your reply. John Bob. Full out methanol, whatever fuel they run. I don't even know what they run, honestly. But piped, screaming demon, 3120 hot saw. Would you be interested in it? Come on, John Bob. I know you're there. I want to see your answer. Is that your answer? Duh. Okay. Oh, let me think about it. You big cop out. I need commitment. That makes me think of the old Meatloaf song, "Paradise by the Dashboard Lights," right? Where she needs commitment. She's like, "Come on, boy, I need to know right now." And if you know that song, right? That is freaking hilarious because you know that they're in the back seat and he's wanting to go all the way with her, and she's like, you got to tell me you love me first." And you know she's going, "Come on, boy, tell me, boy, what's it gonna be, boy? You gonna love me forever?" And whenever you put that visual in there, it totally changes the whole song because you just see that girl in the back seat. You know, we all been there. We were in high school. So, anyways, yeah, for you viewers that don't know, me and John Bob met up at Paul Bunyan, and we hit it off pretty well. I think I like the guy, and I had never seen anything of John Bob until his channel is called John Bob Millwright. I had never seen anything of John Bob except for in Aaron Lynch's videos. In Aaron's videos, and basically all he is a big guy wearing overalls, cutting with a chainsaw. That's it. I never knew. He never said anything that I saw anything. I just saw him running chainsaw. Okay. Well, whenever I met him, turns out he's a straight up comedian. He's fun as heck to be around, right? Yeah, I'm still alive, Eric. The propane guy came. Anyways, so he was fun as can be. And then I started looking into his channel. I had heard about him. I knew that he did some of the work on Taz's 377 XP, and that thing is fast. Him and I think him and Aaron in conjunction made that saw for Taz. And I was really impressed with that. So I was like, I knew that he did good work. But then I started looking up some of the stuff that he did with, he made his own pipe for a Steel MS 660. And so I basically reached out to him and I was just like, hey, can I run your 660 in Sawfest? And that's what kind of kickstarted all this stuff of me trying to find other people to port my saws for Sawfest. Because I was so jealous of Indiana Doug in a very good way. Indiana Doug got to run some really cool saws from other people, and I was just like, man. I mean, it's one thing I want to run my saws too. Like I'll always have like a couple of them that I built for me, you know. And so, but it'd be so cool to have saws built by other people, you know. I mean, just have fun with it and enjoy it. So, so, anyways, I asked him. Then I was like, "Well, shoot, that went over well." Then I asked Cajun. Well, shoot, that went over well. And I asked Aaron Lynch. Shoot, that goes over well. So that's how it all got started. But me and John Bob still haven't really, we haven't really committed on what we're going to work with each other on. But yeah, I'm thinking just, you know, have at it. The 3120 is running a Neotech cylinder. So no, not Neotech, not a highway cylinder. So cut up on that thing any which way you want, brother, and build a big pipe for it because I am going to start hitting real, I say real, more legitimate um, racing circuit races. I really want to do that. I really want to get a full lineup of saws that I can throw in the back of the truck and go and head out and do real races. Like the goal with the one that Pat is making me, and now it's not going to be running on the methanol or whatever it is. So I won't win the race, but I will use that hopefully this December in Alabama. And because they have the way they have their classes, they have 3 cube, 4 cube, 5 cube, 6 cube, and hot saw. That's not the right amount of numbers. So, anyways, so that one that Cajun is going to make is going to run in the 5 cube class, and we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? We'll see. But I want to get all of these built up and eventually be able to compete in every class. And I don't know, just have fun with it, really. But honestly, chopping and doing that stuff with Grant over at his place, and I've used the actual axe, you know, an actual competition axe, and I was like, heck, I can do this. I can do this. This is just a matter of, you know, being able to put together a nice stable of saws and really consistently hit the shows and do some cool stuff, you know. Um, I'm going to take time to read some of these comments here, guys. Cage, are you talking about Eric that sent me the Jonsered? Yes, he's a subscriber, long time subscriber. He actually posts under Diamond Homestead family, Diamond Family Homestead, I believe. So there we go. So that answers that. Take care, Hotbox. Uh, yeah, yeah, John Bob, just a highway cylinder, and those I just wasn't going to pay $500 for a Husqvarna cylinder. I was just like, no way. Uh, oh, look at that! Somebody want to port Eric's 461. You're 372, Eric. I'm going to try and really. I mean, there's only so much that can be done, but I mean, I'm going to try and do everything. I really want to know: are you sending me one of those pipes, or am I going to use this? I mean, I have no problem either way. I'll make it sing. But those pipes that you got in the mail, dude, those things look beautiful. So, uh, Eugene, man, what do you can put a 395 jug on the G395? If I did that, I wouldn't be able to run it in the clone classes. Um, and I want that saw to stay for the Clone Wars. Whenever, you know, eventually they'll probably pick that one as one of the saws to be ran in the Clone Wars. And so I want to keep it clone. And that one is actually getting sent to Iron Horse. Oh, and the other day, whenever I was like, there's something else I've got to mail. I've got to mail saws to Smitty. Smitty is getting my Army of Darkness Home Light Super XL. Going to get that squared away, and he's also going to get the XL76. Get that squared away. So we're all getting squared away everywhere. Man, I've been in this deep 35 minutes. Should I keep going? I mean, I can talk. Uh, so yeah, anyways, I'm thinking about signing off, but if you guys want to keep going, let me know. We got a 394 in my area. They want 600 for it. Need to try me a good husky. Well, I believe the 394 is a good saw. But my experience with stuff like that is if you use a big saw, I don't know. The 394 is a good saw, but $600 is a lot of money. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you roll like that and you can spend that money, then you go for it and you'll have a nice saw, right? But if you need a really good saw to work with and stuff and you're a pro, go get that 592, brother. I have ran a lot of saws at this point. That 592 is awesome. I love it. I think it's fantastic. If you need a big saw, that right there, in my opinion, that's the best thing on the market. That is the best thing on the market. Now, if you want a little bit lighter, you don't need it to be quite as big and powerful, then the Steel 500i, that's your ticket. But the 394 and the 395, they're big, they're fat, they're heavy, they're powerful, they're good saws, but unless it's ported, they ain't got nothing on that 592. And so, anyways, yeah, there's that. All right, Cajun, I'm with you, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm back out here. It's been great chit chatting with you. Aaron, you never did jump in on the conversation. I see, and that's fine. I'll reach out to you, and maybe we will turn this 630 into a reed saw setup. But we'll figure that out. And yeah, talk to y'all later.